So hi there. So it's autumn here in the Northern Hemisphere, and it's my favorite time of year. And so I just wanted to talk to you about the cabin again, because that was my favorite place when I was growing up. And actually, into my adulthood, it was my favorite place to be. And this book painting right here is just a small painting. I'm trying to get the glare off there. But it's a small painting sitting by the river. Let me look it up here. So I was sitting by the river, kind of like where I am right now, looking upriver, and this was the neighbor's bridge, and this little aspen tree right here. This was late in the afternoon, probably, more towards sunset when I painted this. And this was an assignment that I had when I was in art school. And we were to paint 4 different paintings at different times of the day of the very same subject. So I painted one early in the morning, one at noon, one in mid-afternoon, and then this one was later in the evening, as sundown was about to come about. And so the whole idea was, in the study of Impressionism and Monet's work, of where he would paint the same subject different times of year, different times of day, and then you would figure out how light affected color and how it had such an effect on everything, and then he would paint that in his amazing, miraculous way of everything that he did. And I've been to a Monet exhibit and seen his work many times in museums, and it's stunning to see what it was he did and how he saw the world. So in my own little way, this is what I did here. So fall is my favorite time of year. Autumn is my favorite time of year. And it just reminds me of when I was at the cabin. We used to have a fire going every single night and sit out under the stars. And I would sit out there under the stars at night, and I would wait for the shooting stars to go by. And I would wait for 5 of them to go by, and then it was time to go in. And I did that ever since I was really small, and I did that until I no longer had the cabin. So it was a sacred place for me. It was a special place because no matter who was there and whenever we were there, everyone was kind of at their best. And it was a time, and I think part of that was because of the river, because when you're around moving water, it has a really amazing effect on you. And scientifically, I could go into all that, but it just has an effect on you. It brings you to peace. It brings you back home again. And it is just something that's so very powerful. And I'm a water girl, so I grew up there at the cabin and spent a lot of time by the river, making sandcastles in the sun or sitting on the bridge and watching the river flow by and seeing all the birds and all the little critters that would be there. And it was just such a special place, and I will always think of it as my favorite place, always. So today I potted a couple plants in our yard because the wind was so strong last night. It blew them over, blew one plant over, and it broke the pot. So I had to repot it, or the plant would have perished because the roots were exposed to the air. And so we were lucky enough last night, because it's really windy where we live almost all the time. But the breeze was really, really light last night. And so I built a fire in the fire pit. My husband and I sat out there, and we sat by the fire, and we just talked for, 2-3 hours and just spent time just spending time at the fire. And that's what I used to do at the cabin. Every single night there would be a fire in the fireplace, and you just sit into the fire and just become kind of mesmerized by the fire, and it would just kind of take you into a different place within yourself. And so I did that last night, and it was just beautiful. And we had a lovely talk and just casually chatting about all kinds of things, and just had some really nice time together. And so overnight, the wind picked up and blew the plants over, blew the chairs all over the place. And so woke up this morning, and the wind was really cold out there this morning. So fall is on its way for sure. And so now it's warmer in the afternoon, but it'll be cool again tonight. So it's a time to celebrate this time of year. We're about ready to approach the equinox, which is halfway between the summer solstice and the winter solstice. And everything is real busy right now. The animals are busy. They're doing what they need to do in a natural way. We're really seeing a difference in what our cats are doing too. And they live inside all the time, but we're just seeing how they are. And I just kind of watch what's happening with my thinking and what I'm doing and how I'm anchoring into doing things in an even more purposeful way myself. And so I spent time today with the flowers outside. I was just outside in the sun and it was beautiful. And even though it was a little breezy, a little breezier than normal, but I was out there repotting plants and just hanging out there. And there was this, I love dragonflies. And there's this tiny, tiny little itty bitty dragonfly. I've never seen one that small that was just hanging out on one of the plants. And out came a rabbit hanging out in the yard near me. And there were lots of little yellow jackets, which I'm not bothered by them. They just kind of do their thing. And sometimes they land on me and I'm like, well, hello, how are you? And I just let them be, literally. And so it was a really nice time today. But I just wanted to share a little bit about you, about some of the favorite things that I do, and just invite you to kind of look at that yourself. What is it that you do in your day that brings you into something that you really love to do, or something that you favor, or something that is a good memory, or watching a show that might be might be enlightening or might be uplifting, or something that really kind of makes you think about something that you're really considering, or something that you're wondering about. How much time are you spending in nature? Maybe walking through a nearby forest, or taking some time outside, even just driving through a forest, or spending time, some people call it, what do they call it? They call it it's a nature walk or whatever. I forget there's a name for it. But anyway, that's what a lot of people are doing now. They're going into these forests, and some people are doing it, barefoot, and you're just hanging out with nature, and it kind of brings you right back home again. And there's a science behind how amazing this is for your mind, your heart, your spirituality, for every part of who you are, your physical heart and the heart of your soul. And how important that is to spend time with nature, how important it is for you to do what you love and to bring you back home to yourself. I talk about this a lot because it's really important for me to do that. And I invite you to do that yourself, whatever that is. And so I just send you lots of love. To know that how great you are in the way that you are, in your own individual way, of how powerful you are in the good that you do in the world, and in whatever it is that you're doing to bring light, that light that changes whatever part of the day you're in, that light that's in your life, the light that is about you. And the light really means like your consciousness and your mindset and the heart of who you are. How is that in your life, and how you can bring that to yourself? And then you can extend that to your family, to your friends, to your work, to your neighborhood. And it has an effect like that ripple effect that goes out everywhere. And you may never know that you've touched somebody's life in that way, but then you might. The point is that you're living it. It becomes you. It's who you are. And this much I know for you. And so I send you lots of love. I send you light. And may you have a fabulous, wonderful next few days. For us, it's the weekend. Take care. Bye.